I'm ready to handle these dating questions. I got my coffee.
Ready to go.
Ready to go here in Delray Beach.
Hello and welcome back to the You Up podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. We are virtual as we get ahead of the maternity leave that's coming. Also holidays. There's like a big mess of things and reasons that we're virtual, which we were just talking how we kind of get like, I get like zoned in a different way for these virtual ones. I get into my, my podcast pod and I'm like ready to go,
Yeah, well, you're doing the thing where you press play. If you're watching on YouTube or Spotify video, you can see Jared's the titty cup.
In the comfort.
I have one as well.
Yes, we both have our titty cups.
Our best friend mugs.
That's right.
Cups. BFF cups. If the BFF bracelet's out.
That's right.
BFF cups, titty cups in.
BFF D cups.
For 2020. Remember those? Oh my God. Are those in and out things coming for the new year that we make fun of every year? In
titty cups.
Not caring what anyone thinks.
Right. In dating with intention. Out.
Right.
Out.
It's like everything. Right. It's like the thing that you like. It's just like everything that you should do that's healthier. That's in versus
you
out.
would think that like the TikTokers would become more aware and better at their job. I think they're getting worse. I think like the idiots are starting to do it. Like, it's like
starting.
I mean, they've been in for a while, but it's like the
Yeah.
mimics of the mimics are starting. I saw like a food review yesterday. And it was a guy like in his Hyundai being like, I don't know, this better be good. And it's like, dude, you're eating in your car right now. Like, this better be good. How about, like, he was like, this better.
Have some perspective.
Right. Like, it's like, he's just repeating words that he heard, like, the biggest food reviewers say where it does matter,
Yeah. And I mean, like, it's funny how being a creator is like sort of like hitting that jackpot is like sort of the dream job these days.
It's weird. It's
like you don't,
it's I've always,
because you can make so much money, even not having that many followers. I feel like you can make so much money if you play the game. So that's why you have the copies of like, I'll just do what that person's doing.
I mean, if you think we're going to get to like some China talk later, as weird as that sounds, if you think about like, if this is China, if TikTok was China's way of like distracting the country, like they've done a great job because posting on TikTok, especially, I've been saying this forever, is a penny in a wishing well. It is a lotto ticket. And if you're playing the lotto all day, you'd be like, hey man, you should probably do something else. This lotto thing might not work out for you. Like it's very similar to people making videos and making content. Like, and if you're calling, I even hate the word content. It makes me feel so gross. Like I always saw like what I did on.
What do you call it?
I don't know. And I guess I would call it. I always thought posting on the internet jokes like was like a commercial to come see my show. Like I feel almost lucky.
You think it's marketing?
Right. I feel lucky that I have this tangible thing. It's called stand-up that I can like, because every act.
Well, that gives you legitimacy.
Legitimacy. And also like, I got to say like not from the outside, maybe legitimacy, but like from the inside, self-worth. Like I create, I do a thing. It's not up to anyone else but me. Like, you see people going crazy from like, I see these posts about people, the craziest posts are the people with no following that tell you how to get a following. And you're like, oh.
Here's how you get 3,500
right.
followers.
And you're like, oh man, we have fucking lost our minds. And whenever an actor goes bad, like if they get caught doing something or whatever, they always go to stand-up. Stand-up is like where like the losers go. So like, I'm like happy to be amongst my losers, like I'm happy that that's what I love, like.
Well, that's a real
it's
thing.
A real
It's funny. It's like the
thing.
legacy. Right. And the legacy things, I think, are the things that people that still give you legitimacy, like the old media, or
Right.
You know,
I mean,
being an actor, being a stand owning
listen,
business, whatever it is. Like,
as you know, we're trying to sell my special, which, has gotten um, some traction lately, and something's coming and all that stuff. But like, putting it on YouTube to me was was not what I wanted, and not what was going to make me feel like I was. And honestly, for some people, YouTube was probably a better option. And maybe it would be for me. Maybe I'm avoiding this thing maybe I'm avoiding the future. Maybe, someone could have said that about stand-up. I'm just like, I'm not starting a podcast, and look how dumb they look now. I mean, I could be the same, but like,
right.
To me, I have to make a business decision, and but like you said, the legacy media, like having something premiere on Netflix or Hulu or wherever it goes,
right,
is like I think it pays off in other ways. Like that's a business decision. I don't know. It still means something to me.
No, totally. No, it gives you like a feeling of like someone who's in a legitimate place has agreed that what you're doing is like you have something. And I remember even when we were graduating college and we had just started Betches, when we got our book deal from Simon and Schuster,
right.
And we were like, Simon and Schuster, like again, like books. But I mean, you have a book with Simon and Schuster
I have
too.
a book coming out with Simon and Schuster. But when I tell that to certain people, it is as if I am.
Yes.
Right. Like if you told that to your mom and her friends, they're like, what?
Yeah. No, it was like the coolest thing. You know what I'm saying? That was like, I think if we didn't have that and it was like, oh, we could just keep posting these blog posts on a WordPress.com, like it wouldn't feel like you were really doing anything that great. But I think when you get, I don't know if that's like our age and the generation below us doesn't give a shit about that. But like, I think we're sort of between two worlds in some senses.
We are the analog to digital generation.
Someone who's like in a business that's been around for like 80, 100 years telling you that they want to like work with you, I think is sort of our mark of legitimacy.
And you wonder if it's a waste of your time. Like there is, I mean, but I also think, this makes me sad for other generations to not have those things. Like I'm sure becoming a quote unquote content creator, like what's the number that makes you happy? It's you're Sisyphus, you're rolling a boulder up a mountain, like I can understand why that would be depressing, like it's depressing for me, like if I guess
the brand deals,
but you don't even know
the brands that want to work with you.
Sure. But like, then you get one and then there's another one and someone else has another one. Comparison's the thief of joy. Like there's so many like sayings like, but like we've created a world of comparison where it's like not easy. It's very difficult to not compare. Like, I mean, we have a first email that actually like, let's go into the first email right away because I actually think it has something to do with what we're talking about. Like the idea of being compared and comparing. Let's just do it right now. Let's read the email and then I can get it. We can we'll do it differently now that we're in the virtual land.
Hello, Quebec French subscriber here.
Au revoir. Oh, is that what you?
You're saying goodbye.
Okay. Ciao.
Bonjour. Bonjour. Ciao is Italian.
Sorry. I got it all switched up.
I guess ciao could be French. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
How do you spell ciao?
Bonjour. CIAO.
Is that how it's spelled? I always get it.
I think so.
Is it CIAO? V?
Yes.
Wow, good. You did go to an Ivy League school. Fuck.
I know. So, I mean, as soon as I said it, I was like, fuck, I really hope this is right because I'm just going to get
I would have said I would have said CAIO.
CHOW.
That's how we spelled it at Penn State.
With your titty mug. Okay.
Just
Quebec French subscriber here.
I just spit up coffee. That what a fucking animal I am. Okay. Go ahead.
No, you're great. All right. Saw Jared in Montreal last February with my twin sister, and we absolutely loved the show.
Have you been to Montreal?
We got the twin community.
I love the twins. And I love twins.
Remember I used to drive
titties,
there.
as everyone can see.
Yes.
Okay.
I used to twin titties. That's funny. I used to drive there with my road trips with my friends in college because the drinking age was like 18. We do like a summer road trip.
What a wonderful town. I went in February and it was like the coldest I've ever been in my entire life. And I'm pretty okay with cold, but it is just such like you can't believe you're an hour away, like by flight. You just can't believe it.
Feels like European, right?
Totally European. Matteo Lane, who makes fun of people for thinking that Montreal's European, and it's very funny. But it is, you do feel it. You're like, and let me just say, Joe Beef, one of the best restaurants in the in North America.
Right. I remember you went there.
I'm saying it now so I can go back and they'll give me maybe a freebie or something. I don't know. That place is or a reservation.
I guess I've got to go in the winter. I've only been in the summer.
It's magical in the winter. I would say that.
It's been like a really long time, so I've got to go back.
Mont Blanc.
Anyway,
they have some skiing there that you could do.
Yes, Mike went there for a bachelor party.
That's a good bachelor party. I think that's a fun one. Skiing bachelor party. We once did Vail, and it might have been my favorite bachelor party I did.
Why? Because
there was an event built in. The day drinking had activity to it. You could,
right?
There was like you didn't.
It's a fun interactive trip,
right?
Yeah, there's like interactive.
You didn't have to like sit there and like talk with everyone. Like you could be like, I'm gonna go skiing.
Yeah. It feels less disgusting than most when you picture most.
Right.
It's not what is it called? What was it? Temptations.
to reference, you have to sign up for our benefits.
Yeah. Benefits.
Go.
Yeah.
I mean, if you sign up for benefits at all,
couples court.
That couples court. People were discussing it afterwards. I think I saw some comments on it.
Yeah. A lot of comments.
To disagree with the comments
feelings.
of people not being happy with that guy. Because he was actually charming.
Yeah, he was, I mean, I thought he seemed like a nice, cool guy on the show. Yeah.
The email didn't match him.
And he wrote the email.
It was like he might be a master manipulator because.
And they're listeners. He's probably listening
right now because, again, the more I read the comments, the more I was like, wait a minute. They're kind of right. Like this guy, like this is like crazy.
This is weird. Right. It did get weirder the more I like thought about it after.
Right. But on the conversation, they were so pleasant and so nice. And I liked them both.
They seemed really happy.
Right. I'm like, this marriage is going to work. Who cares that he went to a swingers club for his bachelor party?
When you can't bring your phone.
Right. What? Okay.
Anyway, yeah. If you want more context, you have to listen to Benefits from what was it? Was it our
early December,
1st December,
worth signing
or
up for
late November?
It's a couples.
One
We've
of
done
those,
two couples courts, and the couple from couples court showed up at Columbus. Hey guys, the cop who didn't get the meat.
Oh yeah, that
guy.
It was compared to Temptations, he looks like a saint.
I mean,
got the burgers from Whole Foods instead of the special spot.
See,
it is funny. Yeah. It is funny. There's like this one scene in Bridget Jones' Diary 2, which was like amazing.
Bridget Jones's Diary 2 was amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
It was actually an amazing sequel. Colin Firth, Renee Zellweger, they were
two
great.
Likable people.
And they break up. She winds up in like a Thai prison, and it is a good movie despite what I just said.
Okay.
She winds up in a Thai prison, and all the other female prisoners are like talking. They're like, they're commiserating over their bad ex-boyfriends, and she's like, and one of them is like, my boyfriend, he forced me to prostitute on the street, and then my other boyfriend, he was like, he did all these drugs, and he was really bad to me. He's like, Bridget, what did your bad boyfriend do? And she's like, well, he wasn't that inclusive at the law dinner. And
we talk about that a lot of like, it's like when the doctor's like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is what is this hurt? And you're like, it's a 3. And someone else is like, it's a 7. You're like, that's why these conversations kind of matter, like we're talking about burgers with one person and another person. They're like, Well, the wedding didn't almost happen because he went to titty lickers.
Temptations.
Temptations.
Yes.
Temptations is bad enough. I don't even have to make a fake name. Yeah.
You don't. Yeah, it's good. It does itself no
The
favors
name
for
of
a
the
bachelor
hotel
party.
being Temptations wouldn't even be believable if you wrote it. Like, you'd be like, it's not believable.
I'm trying to think of anything worse, like of a name, like Swingers, I guess.
Is there a name of a hotel worse for your husband to go on his bachelor party? Swingers, maybe, but at least that includes other people.
Hall pass. Right. All right.
Right. All right, let's do the email.
Something
Sorry
like
to
that. Yeah,
digress.
anyway, sorry. So we digress.
All right.
All right. Saw this TikTok and immediately thought of you up. Why are men like this? Is this a fake excuse? Is this the truth according to you? Just why? Thank you for everything you do. I listen to you in the car, doing the dishes, during my daily walks. Thanks for the laughs. Signed, a French-speaking bitch from Canada, even if you don't know anything about Canada. We will never live down not knowing
We know very little.
anything about the provinces. All right. So the TikTok is, I mean, the TikTok, we could look at the TikTok. We'll put the post in the video, but it's basically like 2 screenshots. It's not really like a, talking video.
It's her probably looking hot with music. I mean, this woman, whoever she is, looking hot, music, and sometimes you just have to read a man's text and go on about your day. And then
right. And the caption before we get into the text is, men aren't lonely enough. At his big age of 33, went on a first date a month ago and expressed he wanted something serious. Then he ghosted me 2 weeks ago, going to start telling people that I'm single because I'm too great. Hashtag single, hashtag NYC, hashtag dating. Let's read the text.
So I'll be him, you be her. I have to work late tonight. Can we reschedule for next week?
Sure. Next week works.
Hey, I'm sorry I ghosted you. I got overwhelmed by how well our date went and didn't want to continue. I'm weird like that. I hope you accept my apology. You're great.
To you as a man, what do you think of this text? Would you ever have sent a text like this? What is your initial visceral feeling?
My visceral. So there's
this?
I have many visceral feelings to this. I saw.
Okay.
I hate everyone involved. If I'm to be honest, okay. His text is bad. I'm not sure if I know his text is bad because of being on this podcast or just because I know his text is bad. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're great.
I think as a person who's self-aware, saying, I got overwhelmed by how well our date went.
It's all bullshit. I mean, yeah,
Right.
Yeah, it's a bad.
That's insane.
Also, it's insane because it's coming after the ghosting, so it goes nowhere. There's no reason for the text. Like, the ghosting has happened, so now he comes back from the dead to let you know you're great,
and the date was great,
right? And what's the reason for all of this? And so that's where it's annoying, because he's basically saying, I'm here if you want to engage in this, which is really annoying. I can understand from her perspective, guy I went on a date with, guy I've dealt with, guy I know is a real human who I've built a little bit of trust with, is now available and taking my texts. Apparently he's cool with me, because that's what he's doing. He's basically going, I'm here, I'm cool. I got a little bit afraid of how much you wanted commitment, but if you're willing, the context of what he's saying.
Right. What is he expecting here? He's expecting her to be like,
let's say,
okay, let's go out.
Let's say on a spectrum.
It's so great.
Right? Let's say on a spectrum, I'm in AA and I am apologizing to all people I've wronged, because that's kind of what this is. This is like an AA. I've seen the error of my ways.
Is it to make himself feel better?
I guess so. I mean, why do people do it with AA? Why do they apologize? I'm sure there's a reason for it, but there's a version of this is, I don't like the way I've been acting. I need to go back to people I've ghosted. That's the most empathetic I can be that no one wants to be right now.
Sure. Okay, that's fine. If that was the case, sorry I ghosted, but why say it was because the date was too good?
I can translate.
Why not just give I was in a weird I was in a weird place.
Well, I think, sorry to interrupt, because this is where I wrote down for this email is a lot of women's premise for dating. The premise stands on the premise of this post to me, and why I get like annoyed at both sides of it. Like, his text is annoying, but the men aren't lonely enough, and her caption of went on a first date a month ago expressed he wanted something serious. So he wrote a check on the date that he couldn't cash. He said, I wanted serious, got done with the date, realized I don't want serious with this person, but they're hot and fun. But if I go on another date with them, I would kind of be lying. So the premise of getting mad at this guy for him wanting serious and then ghosting is that men don't deal with any emotional turmoil with dating at all.
Right. I mean, that's not my problem with this.
I know. I agree. The problem it's like the TikTok's issue doesn't match the issue that's with this text.
Right. She's making the issue a different issue than it is. Like,
right.
If I were her and I was making this text, and there's a lot to make fun of, I would make fun of the date was, I mean, I guess she sort of did that at the end where she's like, I'm just going to tell people I'm too great. That's why I'm single.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part where I'd be like, oh, come on. The date was too good. Like, fuck off. Like, I'd rather hear nothing almost.
Right. You and I on the Venn diagram come together in the middle on this text is annoying. So, like,
I mean, if Netflix said, like, you know, was supposed to look at your special, and then 2 weeks later said, I'm sorry we never got back, or 2 months later, I'm sorry we never got back to you, Jared. The special was too good. We just couldn't handle it.
I was too blown away. I just came
to. I wasn't ready. We weren't ready for that kind of, we weren't ready. Like, you would be like, fuck off. Like,
well, right. and that's why this text is like, I totally agree. Like, it's where this dating TikTok becomes fraudulent. Like, because she's now saying men aren't lonely enough. And like, this goes back to our initial conversation about like becoming a content creator, and what you inevitably do on the internet is compare. And there's a lot of struggle comparison. And because the male struggle in dating is different and could be viewed as not as like horrific as a woman's struggle with dating, that he's not lonely enough. And, you know, she's gone into kind of Mad Libs and mimic material. Like, she's just mimicking other people, acceptable tropes that you're allowed to crush men on. You and I are crushing him for the reason he should be crushed. You're great. Sorry I came to and realized how amazing you were. And he's kind of insinuating I'll take a blowjob just so you know. Like, in my mind, like, he's basically saying, I said I wanted a relationship. Obviously, I don't. Now you know that based on my actions, but I'm still here and still think you're great. You know, like, that's annoying.
Right. Because what are you supposed to do with that? Like, what is she supposed to do with that?
I mean, she's doing exactly what she should do. Sometimes you got to just read a man's text and go on about your day. Like, she is right. She, you know, the advice is correct. You know, but I saw this. I knew we've been doing this podcast long enough. I'm like, I know everything. Like, I knew where we were going to agree. I knew we'd look at this text and go, come on, dude.
Ugh.
Like, it's like,
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. I mean, I would have respected it more if he said nothing after. Again, this is a soft ghost. I think if you're like, let's reschedule, and then you never reschedule, is to me a full, a 10 out of 10 ghost is what if she said, okay, like, I'm free this day and this day next week.
Right.
Are you there? And he doesn't answer. To me, that's like a pure ghost. This is like a soft ghost of, he said he canceled the date. He said he was going to reschedule. He never rescheduled.
Right. Not to blame the victim. I mean, if her kind of just waiting to be like her kind, you know, this is kind of a very female, sure, next week works with no exclamation point, no no follow-up, no anything, which I'm not saying he deserves more than that, but like if you want to avoid people coming back, like you have to almost be so ready and willing and able that they're like, ugh, I don't, they're a little too much. They want to plan, like.
Well, you think she should have come back with like, okay, what about Tuesday?
No, I even hearing that, I'm like
which way do you think she should have come back? I think I would have said the same thing. That works, sure.
Right.
Like I'm not like
no,
thrilled,
right.
but I'm not mad. I'm not like mad. And then it's up to him to be like, here's the days.
Right.
Like, would this day or this day work for you? And he doesn't do that.
No, I guess right. I'm wrong on that. I guess the making the TikTok is like,
right.
I don't know. You make the TikTok. It's like, I don't know. I guess you can make the TikTok because his text is annoying, but like,
right. It doesn't have his name on it.
Whatever. All right, let's do another email. uup@betches.com.
Okay.
Listen, if you're listening right now, I have shows. I got shows. I'm going to be
Where?
I'll tell you where. So I'm doing shows January 9th. I'm in Philadelphia. That is sold out. I am sorry. It's over. Baltimore, Maryland, then Tampa, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia, Charleston, South Carolina. I'm also going to do like a day hang in Charleston at Uptown Social at Keith's Bar.
Ooh,
so
such a fun bar.
Such a fun bar. If you want to come hang, have brunch, I'll be there, shaking hands, kissing babies. And then I'm going to be in Beach Mountain, North Carolina, which does sound fake, but I will be there. Boston, Massachusetts, we are in low ticket warning for both shows. Dallas, Houston, New York, Toronto, Vancouver, Seattle, Tempe. So jaredfree.com for tickets. Also, we are on YouTube and all that good stuff. So go, get your tickets. All right, you ready for an email?
I'm ready. Petty or prudent? Let's do it.
Petty or prudent? Okay, here's the game. You guys end, you do one thing after the breakup. Were you petty or did it need to be done? Was it prudent? Okay. J&J, your podcast has kept me entertained for years and now is helping me navigate the unfortunate dating world again. And Jared, I'm coming to your show in January in Atlanta and I can't wait. Well, thank you.
Amazing. When's that show?
That was, it's the 23rd
Already
of
happened.
January. No, it's coming up. We're in a couple weeks. So I'll see you.
Not too late for you.
No, not too late. A few weeks ago, I caught my fiance cheating on me with one of our mutual friends. Well, I'll know where she is in the crowd. I'll look for the angriest woman.
You don't always catch them. If you listen to oversharing, the angriest woman sometimes slides by you.
That's true. That's true. He denied it to me and refused to let me see his phone, but later admitted to my best friend that he had been cheating for 2 of the 3 years we had been together. Oh yeah, I'm sorry to hear this. After hours of conflict,
That's tough.
he still wouldn't admit anything to me. So after he fell asleep, I hacked into his Instagram and waited until the next morning when him and the mistress began messaging about the situation being discovered. I watched from the kitchen on my own phone while he laid on the couch having this conversation in live time. Jordana, is this the dream of every woman who's been cheated on, to watch the conversation just go on in front of you? Is this something that like no one wants to be
the
cheated?
Dream?
Well, no one wants to be cheated on, but is it the dream to get all the answers to your questions?
Right. It's still hurtful, but yes, it is
Hurtful, yes.
It takes away that feeling of like, am I crazy? Which I'm sure you feel a lot when you've been cheated on, especially with a mutual friend, with someone who won't admit it to you. Is like, it's sort of like the dream of like validation, because like, I think unless you see something like, and very few people get that, I walked in on them in bed together, or, this is sort of like the digital version of I walked in on them in bed together. And I think there's a validation that comes from that when there's so much secrecy around cheating and stuff like that, where it's like, you can never, it's probably hard to like fully go there with anyone because you're like, I'm not 100% positive. They're saying that it didn't happen. So it's sort of, I think, the dream for self-validation, at least,
Right.
which I'm sure is like a big part of
She
it.
wrote, after about 30 minutes of letting the conversation play out, can you imagine you're on the couch? Like, I'm just imagining him on the couch. She's in the kitchen. They're already in a fight. And he's like,
what an idiot.
He's DMing with
even just
the
like
mistress.
if she had peered over his shoulder. Like, why would he be doing that then?
Yeah, she's looking right at me. Yeah, I don't. She looks like shit. You'd think she'd take a shower this morning after finding out about the cheating. She didn't even brush her teeth. Yeah, she's really pissed off. She really thinks she caught us.
She just keeps giving me the stink eye.
Right? Can you imagine? You're sitting there. Yeah. She's
be like me looking at the George Clooney video.
Right.
What?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
She's got that robe on again. She never washes that robe. I told you all about it while we were hooking up the other night. My God.
I love you.
Yeah, he tells her after about 30 minutes of letting the conversation play out, I took a minute-long screen recording of them admitting to sleeping together, being quote unquote in love, and planning to be together. Well, at least a happy ending for someone, So then after kicking him out of our house, I sent the screen recording to all his friends and family so they would know why we actually broke up, since he still wouldn't admit it to me. So is that petty or prudent? So Jordana, you take a screen record of your husband's DMs with his mistress, and you send it to all his friends and family after ending the relationship. Is it petty or prudent?
Here's the thing. I would take the screen record if I were her. I would definitely have the screen record.
Fair.
I would have it in my back pocket. If anyone asked me about the breakup, if I was asked about the breakup, I would send it. I wouldn't proactively send it, I think.
It's like having a license. Like, you get pulled over. Can we see your license? Sure. Here you go. There's the screen record. You would have it with you always, I guess, right? You're never deleting that.
Yes. Yes. Oh, of course not. No, I would never.
Keys, wallet, phone, screen record of my husband cheating on me.
Right. I would send it to all of my friends immediately.
His mom, is it petty?
To send it to his mom, here's the thing. To send it to my friends and family, not petty.
Prudent.
To send it to his friends and
prudent because it actually...
Here's what happens. Here's what happens.
Gets you out. It kind of like ties it up with a bow. Like, if you think about it.
Right. Well, a lot of this stuff is always he said, she said. And now you have like the raw proof of what happened.
Right. It's now he said, Big Titty Amanda said.
Right. And he's lying. So it really helps build your case. So I would definitely send it to like my friends and family.
Sure.
I think if anyone had like, if anyone ever came to me and said that they didn't like believe it, or that like they were trying to defend him, I would send them that. I would just like have it as
right.
I would send it to my friends and family and just hope it got passed around.
His friends and family, it's like, that's when you get into petty land.
Right. Well, it's also like, I feel like they would have mutual friends too, right? I would imagine. I don't know. What about you?
You're right. I think sending it to your family and friends, hey, you're going to find out. I don't know.
It wouldn't even be like that. It would be like, oh my God, look what I did. This fucking asshole has been lying to denying this, and I got it.
I hate that calling it petty makes it sound like I don't agree with everything she did. It is
to send it to like his boss is petty,
right? Well,
to send it to someone who has absolutely
his
no
family is petty. I think it's petty to send it to his family. You have to trust that, hey, we broke up, and and his mom goes, why? And then he says whatever he says. I don't think his mom, like, if you're concerned, like when you send it to his family, your concern is that he is somehow going to be looked at as a good guy by his own family. The problem she has is that they're always going to look at him as a good guy. Moms will rationalize.
Right.
Like, she's never going to look like he's never going to be like what she wants is his family to go,
There's no one to
I
speak
guess
to
our
him.
son's going to hell. And that's never going to happen.
Right. Or if it is going to happen, they don't need the text to see that. Like if they're going to like be, you know what I mean? If they're the kind of people that are actually not going to defend him because he's their son, which is, I would say, not most people, they're not going to need the text.
The problem is doing this, she can never not, this is top line of her resume forever. Like, I was thinking, like, what could she, like,
That what?
that she sent out the screenshot. Like, him being a cheater, almost less talked about than her being the woman who sent out the screenshot of the cheating husband and the mistress.
To him, and you're saying to his friends and family.
To everyone.
You wouldn't send it to your own friends?
No, of course I would. I'm saying,
Right.
I was trying to think like the win for her. Like, you know, like, how does she move? The win for her, as much as she doesn't want to admit
The
it.
win for her is that is that everyone believes exactly
Right.
what she's going to tell them.
Again, this goes back to witches' times. Like, this is Salem witch trials. Like, you know, women want to be believed.
She has evidence.
Right. And I mean, this story alone and the fact that we're so on her side as far as like the screen record and all this and like how important it is to be believed, it just shows you kind of like the conversations we have like with such bad actors. They're like, well, maybe he was like this, and maybe, you know, it's like, no, this is cut and clean. She doesn't need all this proof,
Right.
But we do kind of like, or we're sitting here being like, you might need this proof because life will be annoying forever.
Well, he's denying it also. Here's the thing. If he wasn't if he like was telling her the truth when her friend told her and she like discovered it and he was like, yes, I did this. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. I'm in love, whatever it is. Again, still fucked up. But I think that like there's another layer of it when someone is sort of making you feel crazy. And that's why I think it would be more deserved to send this out, at least to her friends, because this person is like gaslighting you.
No,
they're making you feel crazy
we're
doing
on the same page. I guess but
if he totally came clean
right.
and just apologized, even if he left and was with this other person, I think still not really deserving of all these things because she doesn't need to prove anything. Everyone would already they would have the same story.
Right.
But because he's trying to give out a different story, that's why I would do it.
It shows how bad getting cheated on is. Like, I mean, this story, because like some people might be listening, getting angry at this conversation, but the more you unpack it, because I actually wrote down, like, the more you unpack it, the more the amount she has to prove that she got cheated on and like has to answer to this and has to like be sure of herself and like, you know, sure of her own reality. Like, that sucks. And when she does a thing to show everyone what the reality is, I wrote this down. It is the only thing people will remember her for. That she sent out the video. Like, let's say she saves a baby from a burning home and she's on the news and she's getting interviewed and you're like with Mike and you're like, Mike, Lori is on the news. She saved a baby from a burning building. Mike's going to go, is that the woman who sent the screenshot of the guy messaging with his mistress?
But would you see that as a horrible thing?
No, I just think it sucks that she will only be known for this. Like,
well, she's also making sure he's also only known for this. Is that the guy who cheated on his... Right. I mean, I still think of that Barstool guy like that.
KFC?
Remember there was like that... Yeah. Where he had the podcast giving advice and then he was like, his wife caught him cheating on the iPad. I think she posted something about that.
He gets, so KFC, who's...
I remember.
Right. Well, you know, it's funny what people remember. Like, some people, I remember I was talking with Juliette Littman about Tom Brady, and I'm talking about how heroic Tom Brady is, and she's like, he cheated on Bridget Moynihan while she was pregnant. And I'm like,
oh yeah.
I was like, in my mind, he's Tom Brady, the hero. To other people, he's Tom Brady, the philanderer. I'm like, I guess you see it like KFC from Barstool. Like, I remember that story too. It's something that is in the first paragraph of the thing that you think of, right? And I don't know if he was giving advice. I think he just had a podcast and he was like, and she was pregnant.
Oh yeah.
That was a big part of it.
Also bad. Yeah, right.
And that was in page 6, it's like what you think of when you think of like, there might, I think about this all the time. Like if I went on a plane and I farted.
Would that be all people said about you?
Would the person next to me go, I met this comedian and he farted next to me? Like I'd be Jared Freed comedian who farted next to me on the plane. Like you can't really write your own headlines. Like, because I wrote down all these things about this woman that she could do. And I would still go, she's the screen grab person. Like if she won.
Yeah, but I don't think I wouldn't be like, that was so messed up.
I guess I would.
Maybe if she texted like his dying grandma or someone like,
hey, Gam, here's
a
little goodbye present.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like if there's like, I think there's lines.
No,
and again, I would only text it to his mother if his mother texted me and was like trying to
say what a great
say
guy
that he didn't do it or
take him back
him or something like that. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I would have it in my pocket for his friends and family if anyone like was trying to come at me with anything.
So let me ask you. Now, here's the question. Is she being petty or prudent by sending it to, as she wrote, all of his friends and family?
I think it's petty.
Okay.
Again, preempt. It's like if she's proactively, when they're not on the discussion, on the topic at all, and she's just sending it mass group text, that's petty. To his friends. To her friends, not petty.
Okay.
But if she sent it to them in the midst of a discussion about what happened, not prudent.
I'm with you. I totally agree with you. If these things were to be true, right? I'm with you.
Right. It's like, yeah, I think it's like if you had a picture of someone like who hit your car or like vandalized your car and someone was texting you being like, that didn't happen. You'd be like, nope, here's the picture.
Here are the receipts.
Right.
People, I think it's tough for people to keep a straight, they'll say, well, this isn't a car, this is a human being. But it's like, yeah, but no.
It's about the person who hit the car.
So let's do another email. Go ahead.
All right, let's do it. Hi, JJ. Quick dating question for you. I was on a date last night where he asked about my New Year's resolutions and then casually said his was going on a date every few weeks. Like, okay, is that an honest overshare or am I just being picky for being turned off by it? What is the correct response to that besides go get him, Tiger? Thanks.
Oh, my dating resolutions gonna get blown every week by a new woman. So
what are your goals for the year?
Any siblings? Yeah. This is a tough one.
I think it's also weird that he asked her about the New Year's resolution. I could almost see if someone caught you off guard and you said it and then you were like, oh, I probably shouldn't have shared that one.
Right.
But he asked her, so he's like trying to share.
Right. This is an example of like, it's all in how you feed someone the information. Like if someone was on a date with me and I was like, what are your New Year's resolutions? And that is a conversation that could come up on a date that I would hope I would never be on. That's my feedback to this. Like, I don't think a date's going well if you're talking about New Year's resolutions. I don't think this had any chance. That's just me. That's my opinion. You might be on the best day of your life and you're like 2 hours in and a little drunk and you're like, what are your New Year's resolutions?
I can see it coming up.
It can come up later. I think soberly.
Right.
And in the first hour of a date, if New Year's resolutions come up.
Sure.
We should make a resolution to never see each other again.
Fair. Or if you're like, oh, I'm going to the gym tomorrow. I'm trying, it's one of my New Year's resolutions. I'm trying to get back to it.
I think you're right. You're right. Well, I would say if you're going, well, if someone said to me, I think there's a better way to say this. Like if you're going to talk about if you're on a date and you're talking about your resolutions, my resolution this year is to meet people more in real life. My resolution is to sign up for the dating apps. This is actually part of my resolution is to be on a date with you. I didn't really date last year, and now I'm starting to date a little bit more, and I'd like to, meet new people, and I'm looking for a relationship this year. Like those are all like great ways to say that.
That's a great green flag.
Like looking for the real thing, and I'm going to be more intentional with my dating. These are all things you would love to hear from someone on a date. And if they took that wrong, like I there's a little bit here where I'm like, she needs to like, I'm kind of like against the emailer a little bit, not like totally, but like, go get him, Tiger. Like it shows a little bit about their insecurities that he's like, I know he could have said this differently,
right?
But like, if I had someone say to me, I'm looking to go on a new date every few weeks, like that does, people do make that resolution. That isn't really.
No, there's nothing wrong with the resolution in itself. I agree. It's about the way you're sharing it. And I could see if you're on a date, it kind of can make it feel like I'm kind of like checking a box to get this thing done a little bit. One, and then two, I have another date with someone else. Just like I think the idea of bringing up other dates on the date that you're on can feel less romantic.
Totally. But this happens a lot with dating, especially dating apps. Dating apps have created this kind of like data-driven, gotta go on a lot, numbers game. It's a little too much information for us all. Like, there are people who act this way, where they're like, I am going on one date every week for the year 2025, and they're almost losing the reason for all this. This is, again, in the content creator world.
It's a checklist.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
and second, what is the correct response to that? I would say it would be, I don't know, like, I think you could make fun of it a little bit. Like, that would probably be the right response. Is like, all right, so like, how does, how am I doing, I guess, right. Like, or something, or
your first intent, your first reaction is probably the best reaction. Like on a date, like, hey,
so you really are.
I'm going on a date every few weeks. Well, what happens if this goes well for us? Will that ruin the resolution? That's kind of a weird thing to say to someone. Like, I think to call it out, like at least you're having a real conversation.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Like it is not a real human to go, my New Year's resolution is to go on new date every few weeks. Like that's someone talking at you. Like to say to that person, well, what makes one date turn into a second date for you? Like that's kind of horrible for me to hear. I came here because I was like, I kind of had a good conversation with you. Like there's a little vulnerability that could be shown. Like I'm here because I'm not just like looking to go on a date for the date's sake.
Right.
Like what about this
like,
was different? What made you go on this date?
That feels a little quantity over quality to me.
Right. Like, I think like when you hear those things, because I've heard stuff like that on dates where it's like, well, I'm
trying to date more.
Trying to date more. Okay, well, what is more? Is it to get out of the house? Do you want something?
Right. There's ways to say this that sound more enticing than.
I think when I'm
trying to put myself out there more sounds better than that. I'm trying.
What would you say to a guy? Like, would if a guy said to you, I'm going on a date every week this month because I just need to date.
I would say, wow, I got a lot of competition, I guess.
And then I would, I'm trying to think of my response to that would be like, well, no, like I'd soften it. I would back away completely. I'd backpedal.
Right. Which is fine.
But
again,
I'd be lying to
that
you.
Might show. Right. Well, I would know that about you. I mean, as I'm saying, I would put it in your file that's part of what you are doing. And again, the way you said it might mean we're a match or not a match.
Right. And then I go for the second date and you're like, I guess it didn't work out. What happened to the other date? Like you could like, I think it's to be fucked
that's
with.
what I'm saying. I would have fun with it. I would have fun with it. Yeah. I would ask right after the date, like, so if you canceled all of the other ones.
Let's say the rest of this date was actually fun. You go, we had this one weird moment where he's talking about he's got a date every few weeks, but you liked him. I think you got to make fun of this.
You can come back from that.
You can come back from this. And also, this is something that can become like the fun thing you give him shit about when you do go on the second date, or when you do
for years to come.
Right. And when we first went out, he said he was going on a new date every week. He can't even get a new date every week. You know, you can fuck with him.
What a loser.
Let's play some games.
All right, let's do some games.
Yes.
Let's
Red
do
flag or
it.
deal breaker. We love red flag, deal breaker. It is the game sweeping the country. You go on a date. You have a everything's great. Again, just like this date. You have a great date. One thing happens. Is it a red flag? You notice it, but you keep going, or is it a deal breaker? You end it because of this one thing. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
J&J, I have a red flag or deal breaker for you. I'll get right into it. I'm 34 female, started dating a guy 38 male over the summer. I met him through a volleyball club, and he's from Brooklyn, New York. We spoke often about traveling abroad and appreciating diverse cultures, which was a huge turn on for me. I was even more excited when he told me he was planning a trip to Vietnam with his 2 guy friends, as I spent 2 years teaching English and traveling in Southeast Asia in my 20s and absolutely loved it. Fast forward to October when he went on his trip, and all I heard from him from abroad was complaining. Eye roll emoji. See screenshots attached. You ready for the screenshots?
I'm ready.
You be her, I'll be him.
Unfortunately, you have to be him.
Tough one. Let's make sure everyone knows I am reading his texts. These are not my opinions.
They're not sound bites.
Do not pull these.
Make this the clip. Okay. All right. I'm going to go back to sleep. Enjoy yourselves.
I'm getting so tired of these roads and the poor walking/driving etiquette that I just walk right into someone because we both played chicken and they don't move. Asian people in general are just very inconsiderate, and me first, and that bugs me. They were blasting TikToks and FaceTiming on the ride up in addition to the coughing. It was just annoying. So, shrug emoji, cultural differences. Everyone coughing on me in the cable car. No one here covers their mouth. He keeps going. The communism bugs me, but yeah, it's nice for me. Ha ha ha.
Communism? LOL. What's bugging you about the communism? Haha.
I don't like communism, and I assume that leads to the prices.
What are you seeing that feels like communism? LOL.
And 9-year-old homeless kids.
Plenty of those here in Denver, too. It's sad, though. I know what you mean. Cambodia was the craziest in that aspect.
This is a horrible country. LOL. Not me. Okay, again, not me.
And I mean, the fact that you need to say that, I think, makes it a clear deal breaker. Well, I guess, why don't you finish the email?
I understand traveling abroad can pose some unforeseen challenges or cultural differences, but really complaining about Asian people as a whole group or claiming to hate the communism you feel. Ultimately, it was a deal breaker for me. Would love to hear your thoughts. Red flag or deal breaker. He loves to travel, but complains when he sees the real world. Thanks for doing the Lord's work. Sign, burned out by his backpacking breakdown. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with her. I think this is a deal breaker. Very just not a great way to see someone speak about people in an entire country and generalize about an entire country when they've probably been there for a week. With no self-awareness, not saying anything positive, just giving your whole critique.
Right.
Like, who are you?
And also to give no good with the bad. Like, this isn't even someone who knows you. Listen, there's cultural differences. And I've been to China, so I know that it does feel like a different planet in some respects. And to just say I hate communism, that doesn't even it's just so vague that it is rude. If it was more specific,
right. Offensive.
Yeah, it's offensive because of the blanket statements. If he was I saw this thing and due to that, I believe it's communism related, and this is why communist country, like there's just not it's not thoughtful. And now you're saying these things. And I think the ultimate deal breaker for me is, and this happens sometimes, I think at the risk of sounding whatever, like sometimes you meet people and they just assume that you and them agree on every single thing because you and them have met. And that's annoying to me. Like just because.
Right. No sense of like, how is this coming across?
Right.
No.
Like, and no sense of like, I might just disagree with you. Like I might think of things in a different way, to just like assume that
you're saying things like they're facts.
Right.
His opinions he's stating as facts. This is a horrible country.
Right. To take this away from him being specific to one area, like I think people do this generally just with like a lot of politics things. They think because you look a certain way, you believe a certain way, or you live in a certain area, so you think a certain way. I've had this with like not dates, like, and where I'm kind of just have to like, and you kind of sit there.
Not very self-aware.
No. And you're not even like having a conversation. You're just being spoken at. Like that's where this is like a deal breaker for me. Like communism, like what?
I agree. Do you even know what you're talking about? Right.
Probably not.
Also, like it sounds like a douchebag abroad person quote from like college abroad.
Right.
But he's 38.
Right.
Like if she was like, oh, we're 20 and he went, he took like a couple weeks, and I'd be like, oh, he's just like immature, but he's 38.
Right. I mean, I went to China and I remember I went on stage and I did shows in China, and I remember walking the streets, and like you do have to if you go to another country, you have to admit to, maybe I don't know everything. And he's not doing that here. Like,
right.
He's doing I know everything. And that's annoying. Like I remember there was a smell in China that I smelled, and I was like, it wasn't recognizable. And it didn't smell good to me, but I smelled it every morning. And I remember going on stage and saying, because there was a lot of expats at the show in China, I would say like, listen, there is a smell every morning. And I go, the weird part is maybe that's your bacon. Like when I wake up in New York City, I smell bacon and I'm like, and I'm like, that's how foreign it is to be here, that I get up and I go, what is that? And everyone might be going, like, and I, or like loving it. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, and I thought it was like an example of like, man, like I know so little. I'm a little speck on this great big marble, like.
Right. Well, that's self-awareness.
Right. And it's also taking something where I could have gone, and maybe someone's going to tell me in the comments how horrific I sound, but like, to me, it was a way of saying like, I could have gone another direction where I'm like, fuck that smell. But it's like taking a moment to go, this isn't my smell. This isn't where I live, And he's not doing that. He's taking no moment to do that.
Agreed. Deal breaker. This is besides the point but he writes, Asian people in general are just very inconsiderate and me first. That's like the complete opposite of everything I've heard about Asian cultures, which are very non-individualistic and very much about like the whole and the community and like helping other people. So it doesn't even sound particularly accurate to me.
Maybe he just met one asshole. So I don't know. I guess they're all.
Yeah, I mean, that's also
that's called being.
But that's what I'm saying. Like someone who would do that, has like a personality type.
Right.
So all right, I agree. Deal breaker.
Deal
all right, let's do another one.
Go for it.
Hi, Jared and Jordan. A big fan of the pod. Thanks for the many laughs paired with great insight over the years. I have a red flag or deal breaker for you that I imagine is only an issue for me. I, 27 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 32 male, for 3 years, living together for 2. Everything is going great, except this one nagging, annoying, constantly festering issue. Except for this one huge thing. My boyfriend does not do his chores. For example, I've expressed many times that I like to have the bed made, but when he's the last one up, he refuses to make the bed. When I confront him about this, he says it doesn't bother him to leave the bed unmade. We live in Manhattan together. It's not like it's a ton of work to clean our 800 square foot apartment. It's just the principle of the matter that I'm always the one cleaning. When I suggest we get a housekeeper, he says we don't need to spend the money on that. He works at a hedge fund and makes around 5 times more than I do. So he covers more of the rent and bills, but I don't want this to come with the expectation for me to do his chores for him. When I try to ask him to take out the trash, help with the dishes, fold the laundry, etc., I feel like I'm his mom or the stereotypical naggy wife. So I usually just end up doing it all myself. But have I now enabled my 32-year-old boyfriend to act like a child forever? So help, please. What do you think? Red flag or deal breaker? He treats housework as optional for him and mandatory for me and lets money replace basic effort. I hope you say red flag and offer some great suggestions to fix this because we're looking at engagement rings now. Thanks. Sincerely, not made for this life. It's a pun.
It's a good pun. Jordana, how do you feel about this red flag or deal breaker? Should they stop looking for engagement rings?
Well, here's the thing. I don't necessarily think they should stop looking for engagement rings, but I think they need to have a real conversation about money and the way they see how that affects their responsibilities as a couple. Because it seems to me that this guy is thinking, I pay more of the rent, I pay for more things, and therefore I am entitled to do less housework.
Right.
Because you were getting more of the apartment paid for. So which again, I'm not here to say that opinion is right or wrong. I don't know how many hours he works. Maybe he works a lot more than her. So he feels like she has more time to do all this stuff. It seems like he doesn't want to pay more to like outsource it because he feels there's something what I'm gathering from this is there's something that he feels like she should be taking on more of the work because he pays more.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I'm thinking that he's thinking of this. And she doesn't agree.
You and I zoned in on the same thing. It's funny, like when we ask people to email us and we get a lot of like response from people being like, just writing it at all was like helpful. Like, I think when she started this email, it was like, hey, I asked him to make the bed and he says he doesn't care about it. And it really bothers me. And then the more she wrote, the answer became very clear. When she writes that he makes 5 times more than I do, so he covers more of the rent and bills, and he just says no with no explanation to me having an issue with something, that would feel like I am a minority stakeholder in this company of us. Like, that kind of how I...
Like, I work for him.
You're business partners, but you've invested less, so you have less of a say in the company. Like, I think that's how I would kind of, not to tell her how she feels, but like we based on what she wrote, it sounds like that's how she feels.
Yeah, it does sound like that. That's how she feels. It sounds like there's an accuracy to that.
When you say, but when you say like, we don't know what he's feeling, like we don't know. But it seems the way she's like the way she's telling the story, it's like, he's like, yeah, I make all the decisions on everything because I pay more, and come to me and I'll think it over and then I'll make a decision. Like, it's like, why is he
I'll let you know if we'll pay for a housekeeper.
Right. Like, why, if I were her, I'd go pay for the housekeeper. I'd be like, here's half the housekeeper, or here's your percentage based on how we do the rent. Like, I would get a housekeeper. Since you won't make the bed, we need the bed made every morning. We need the thing done. I paid for the housekeeper. It cost $100, but I paid 30%. So I paid $70. Like, if you want to be a business and act that way, or we can have like a real discussion, because
that's what I'm saying. That's what they need to do. They have to do that. The real discussion. Like
the passive,
especially if you're going to get married.
You're getting married. Like, it sounds like you have not had any discussion about how money works in this relationship.
I think another thing is like money and time. So you have to hear his rationale for. And that'll tell you a lot about him. So you shouldn't avoid this conversation. It's like, what's your rationale for not feeling like you need to do anything around
I'll be him.
Like, maybe you have to make him say it.
I'll be him, and you tell me whether you should get engaged to this person or not. Okay?
Okay. Hey, can you make the bed since you were the last one out of it this morning?
I'm just letting you know I'm never going to make the bed. I wake up at 9 to go to work at 10. And I know that's later than you, but I then work until 10 o'clock at night. And I'm like looking to get as many hours and minutes in bed as possible. And you get back at 5. and you have the time to do it, and I'm spending all that time working, and that's why I pay for 70% of the rent. And I just think that's where I chip in.
All right. Well, if you feel like you're contributing more financially, then maybe this is something we need to outsource because I also don't have time to make
But
the
what are you
bed
doing
and
after
do all-
5 when
clean
you
the
get
kitchen
home?
every day.
You don't have the time. You kind of just come home afterwards and sit around and watch Bravo.
It's not how I want to spend my time.
So Bravo's more important than the bed. So why would we?
I think being able to relax after work is more important.
I don't ever relax. I go and work so that we can afford this 800 square foot apartment.
So do you think that makes, because you make more money and you contribute more financially, do you think that means that I shouldn't have a say in how I get to spend my time after work, or how
It's like
how we
10
keep the
minutes
apartment,
to
how
make
we
the
how
bed,
we
right?
how the bed
Like,
is.
you can still get in your
That's
Bravo.
a long time. Have you ever made a bed? It's like not 10 minutes. It's like 3 minutes.
Is that how long it takes? I don't know. I have a cleaning person.
I mean, I guess depending on on what you're.
I'm not a cheapskate like this guy. No, but even while I was saying it, I felt mean. Like
We're talking. I'm going to ask you this. We're talking about getting married. Like, are you assuming that when as we build a life together, as we have kids, we move into a house, that like all of this stuff is going to be my responsibility?
Yeah, or we would at some point get someone. I don't mind a messy house. Like, I don't care.
All right. Well, I do mind a messy house, but I feel like because this is a partnership, we should, I care about the things that you care about, even if I don't care about them, because you care about them.
So my fantasy football league, I don't even know what I would care about that much.
I don't care if you get blowjobs. I don't care if you have sex that much. That's a you thing, right?
Whatever you need. Yeah, I don't know. You would have to really put up a stone wall. Like, even as I'm acting it out.
Right. Well, I don't think it's even about like the solution, because I don't again think there's like one completely acceptable solution. I think different things work for different couples, but it's more about being able to have that conversation,
right?
And being able to like talk about your expectations, where they come from, and how you can come together. But someone saying, because I don't care about this, I'm not going to take any part in it, is not a good answer. But to say, yeah, obviously, like, this is a thing, I can understand why that would be important to you. Let's think about some solutions that would work.
I agree with you. Even as we were acting it out, I'm like so uncomfortable with like an argument that I'm like, whatever you say. Like, I even, do you think anyone's watching us act it out and getting like angry? Like when I'm saying, like when I'm acting as the guy in this scenario where I'm like, I don't care about a messy house.
No, because I think a lot of
Why
people
don't you clean it up yourself
feel
after
that
you're
way.
done with your Bravo. Like, there are people that talk to each other that way, like.
There are,
like I was acting it out.
I think that's
it was
a thing.
It was real enough for me that I was like, oh my God, I feel bad for anyone in that relation. Like,
well, it's like, again, I think that's like a major. Everyone always talks about his red flag or deal breakers is like a little thing, but it's like indicative of the way the way you handle one thing is the way you handle everything.
Yeah, and this isn't a little thing.
Is he going to get to say where your kids go to school because he's paying for more of it? Like, and I think you could say, like, do you feel like I think that's the real discussion. Do you feel like because you pay for more things that gives you the right to decide more things about our lifestyle?
Right. And when you say, I will not make the bed and you don't care, it's basically you saying you don't care about me. That's how I take it.
Right.
Like, I think that's how I take it as a good maneuver in that conversation. Like, I hear I don't want to make the bed after I've just made it. I told you, it makes me feel like I work for you. I have no opinion here. I'm just some idiot who thinks a bed should be made. And if I want to get it done, I can get it done because I don't make as much money as you.
And you make all the rules.
Yeah. So even the way she wrote it here, that's how it sounds. So like, that is obviously how she feels. So she needs to have a feelings conversation.
Right. And again, it seems like this would all be fine if he was like, I don't really want to do that. If you care about it, we can get a housekeeper.
Right. That it would be a different story. If her complaint was he doesn't want to do it and I don't want to hire a housekeeper, we'd be looking at her being like, then you do it. Like we wouldn't have the same answer. Right. So let's do one more. You ready?
Yeah.
J&J benefit subscriber, huge fan of everything you both do. I have a red flag or deal breaker for you. I'm a paralegal supervisor to a bunch of Gen Z in Washington, D.C. Cue the Mean Girls reference about the kids keeping me young. Recently, one of them told a story about applying to law school. She said that while visiting her long-distance boyfriend in New York City, he told her that if she doesn't get into law school in New York, they'll have to break up. While he was declaring this, she was literally pressing the send button on her law school applications. He was also playing for her the fight songs for the various schools, both in NYC and outside, that she would be applying to. I didn't know that law schools had fight songs, but okay. As a 30-something-year-old woman who has listened to Jared Freed describe the pre-breakup for years, this is a deal breaker for me, but curious to hear your thoughts. Thanks for everything. What do you think? This is actually nuts to me.
I don't know if I mean, this is told to her secondhand. I don't know how this was said, or if he was like, you better get into NYU, or like, we're over. That's obviously insane.
Right.
If he was like, if you don't get into like a school in New York, this would be like a really long distance relationship. I would want to talk about like how realistic or feasible, or like how much we both really want to do that is. Like, that's a different discussion to me than get in or you're out.
Well, let's say it's that way. I kind of took it more that way. If he said she's applying for law school, like, to me, now is not the time for this conversation. I think it's more of a timing thing. Like, what you're saying is, I totally agree. That's a different discussion. But like, hey, I got into NYU law. And then him being like, wow, I'm so excited to see where this can go. I'm excited for you to move to the city. Let's discuss the next step, where you're living, where I'm living, and how we can kind of move forward as a couple. Or, hey, I got into Stanford Law. Hey, so we should probably talk about what we're doing here. Like, because I don't...
You're saying this all should happen after she gets in.
To me, bringing it up while she's applying,
it's not helpful, I guess.
Like,
yes.
Like you're basically saying, start the clock, because this will be over if, like, when you start talking about your relationship as if it's a bag in the wind, that is when the relationship has ended.
As if like anything could destroy it, you're saying?
Right. Like, what are you talking about? So you're already saying that you're putting it in God's hands? Like,
I mean, I know people who apply for jobs only in a city that they must be in a city. Like, I have people who are like married who are like, they're applying to be doctors or lawyers, but they wouldn't apply somewhere that wasn't in the city where their husband is.
No, I agree with that, but there is a element of like, did this, we're getting this secondhand. So like, or third hand kind of.
Right.
There's another version of this where they go, so I'm applying to schools in New York and California. And the guy's like, good luck. And not having that conversation with them and not being like, well, why California? What will happen to us? Like, I think a lot of people would bring that up with a hope that someone will go, no. Apply to schools here.
Yeah.
Because what about us?
Right.
And I'm saying
that's what I would say if I was dating someone who already was long distance and was applying to go to schools in places that were not in the same city as me.
I would never say that to someone. I would never say to someone.
I wouldn't say we're going to break up.
I would never say we're going to break up, but I would never say, hey, what about us? Or I've never been with someone where I liked them that much.
You would never say, what about us?
I would, because I don't want to be the one who, and I think this is like,
you are not a Carrie.
Well, I think this is
like the exact conversation with Big that she has when he goes to Paris for work.
Right. I'm not gonna.
Where she's like, we're gonna make it work, and she's like, and you didn't even tell me. He's like, well, if I have to go to Paris for work, I have to go to Paris for work. Like, why would I tell you? That's you.
That's me. Well, I would say when you're dating someone who, I think when both people are motivated, when both people have career aspirations, the fear of the person with the career aspirations on one side that doesn't have to make this decision is like, now I've stopped you from your aspirations. and made mine the A aspirations, where both now your and my, you have hitched yourself onto my wagon and there's more pressure on me. Like, I have this with comedy, like, where it's like, it would be tough for me to tell someone, move to Delray Beach because this comedy thing is heading to the moon. That would be kind of like what I would be saying by telling someone what to do with their career aspirations. Now, if they had no aspirations, or, aspirations for like different things that weren't work related, I think it would be different.
I don't know. I think like, and again, I think it's not like there's not great law schools in New York.
Fair.
You know what I mean? You wouldn't be like giving up your whole career to come move to New York City.
I wouldn't want that responsibility, though. I wouldn't want me being, and I don't want to be a plot point in someone's story where I don't end up with them. And I came to New York for this asshole ex who told me to apply to Fordham, and now I'm here because of that. Like,
that's on you.
I know. Well, that's why I'm not saying shit. I'm like, you apply. We'll see what happens. I think saying it before is like, I agree with the emailer. Like, saying it beforehand is like, the timing of it is like, hey, just so you know, like, we're going to break up at some point.
I think you could say it when you're talking about what schools you're applying to, is like, just so you know, like, I don't know if, again, they're already long distance. I think it's okay to say, I don't know if I could do another 3 years of long distance.
Right. But as you're right, I'm with you. But as you're heading send,
when you're talking, right. But I assume you would be talking about this while you're like discussing what schools are you applying to. You wouldn't find out when you're hitting send. I guess maybe it sounds like more of a fight if it's happening while you're hitting send.
Right.
Like,
so. Yeah, which is actually like a worthwhile conversation. So it's like, I mean, this is the break.
Yeah,
this is the breakup to me. I either way, it's the breakup.
Either way, okay.
Like,
I mean, I don't know, if I was dating someone who lived in DC and they're applying to law school and they're applying to a lot of schools that are not New York, I'm assuming they're not that invested in the relationship with me.
Let's play this out. You come to me, you're applying to law school. I'm your boyfriend living in New York, and you live in DC.
Okay, here's how I would put it. I would say, I'm applying to Stanford.
Amazing. What a school. You should, who wouldn't want to go to Stanford?
To Harvard.
Harvard. Right. I can't believe I'm dating a woman who is applying to Harvard Law. Like, who would have thought? I'm such an idiot loser. I went to Penn State. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm dating a genius. Okay, where else?
And I'm applying to Columbia and NYU, right?
Those obviously still, anyone can go to those schools, but yeah, okay. It's no Stanford, but yeah, cool.
And then, right, so those are the schools I'm applying to, but I'm also I would say, and then you could ask me how those schools are ranked.
Yeah, what are the rankings?
I don't really know how they're right.
Harvard,
I would say
one, obviously.
Harvard's probably above the rest. Stanford and Columbia, those are like pretty on par.
But you don't have Napa.
So I don't
know Napa and Columbia. You don't have the beautiful redwoods.
Now you're trying to convince me to get out of here. Now you're trying to make this easier on yourself.
Right. I think when you say to someone, when you say to someone, we are, listen, if you go to Stanford, this is probably over. Like, I think you've already, your foot is out the door,
well, I think it's more like if you got into Stanford and Columbia, and you're choosing Stanford when your boyfriend
lives in New York. Your girlfriend
lives in New York, and they're both great schools. Yeah, I could see why you'd be like, I don't want to do this for 3 years when you could have gone to a great school in New York.
The breakup is reasonable.
But I agree with the timing. Right. The timing makes sense.
The breakup's reasonable.
That's why the timing's important.
Right, and that's why, again, like two motivated people. You have someone living in DC going to be going to law school. You have someone living in New York doing whatever New York thing they're doing. Like, I understand the breakup isn't like mean or mean-spirited. It's just more that, like, I think if someone's bringing this up in the order of operations, like, to me, you get in and then I got into these 3 schools. what are you thinking? And it's like, hey, I am not going to be like, my response to someone saying that to me, my girlfriend, would be, I am not in a position to tell you where to go to school.
Well, then I don't think your relationship's that serious.
Right. And
or not tell you where, but I'm not in a position to be factored in
that
to your decision making. To me, it would be like, you're breaking up with me.
Beware of holidays, vacations, New Year's, and getting into law school. This is another one to add to the list, and global pandemics. All of these things will reveal how much someone really wants to make it work.
Yeah. And I would say if my boyfriend applied to schools that were equally good as the one near me,
right,
and chose to go to the one not near me, and where I'm in an age where I'm looking to, like, be in a real relationship,
right,
that would be a big issue.
Well, that's
for
the thing. What becomes more important?
If he didn't get in, that's a different story.
Listen,
if he didn't get in.
I hear you. It is interesting. We're all faced with choices. Hey, I've always wanted to live on the West Coast is something nobody says to the love of their life. That is like,
would you consider coming with me?
Right.
Would say.
Again, where there's a will, there's a way. Like, this is where, like, if he wanted to, he would. Like, I hate that saying when it comes to like a third date, because it's like, fuck off. But when it comes to like this decision, law school, if they wanted to, they would. Like, there's like, this could be worked out, but, or you do distance.
Yeah. I think it depends on how good the opportunity is away from you that you couldn't get here.
Right. Well, we solved dating again. We did it.
We'll be back on Friday with your Friday Feels episode.
Absolutely. Boom.